tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Free Talk Live.
So, yeah, Mark, they did ban all foreign flags from being flown in the event that they are the only flag being flown. But nonetheless, I mean...
Now, it's the flying of a flag?
$50 fine and 30 hours of community service.
That's dumb. This doesn't really even affect...
What do you think, this is the land of the free?
Most of the Mexican flags I see are CDs hanging from people's rearview mirrors, stickers.
I think we could qualify that.
That's not a flag.
It doesn't look like a flag. Got them colors on it.
No.
We're going to charge you $50 fine. $50. That's right.
That CD, what if the CD has music on it?
Don't matter. It's a flag.
It's not a flag. It's a CD.
If you're flying it
Clearly,
like a flag,
sir,
it's a flag, my friend.
It's not a flag. It's hanging from fishing wire from my rearview mirror.
Hanging equals flag.
No, hanging does not equal
flag. Equals $50 fine. Pay up.
Well, I have a...
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Talking about another manufactured moment of hate, brought to you by the mainstream media. More things that you have to be worried about because God knows this senseless crap is important while your country is $22 trillion in debt and your grandchildren are going to be in debt slavery to, maniacs who are running Washington, D.C. So it's Mark with you.
And Chris.
Yep. And you can call in about whatever you want. I'm talking about the Megyn Kelly, Al Roker controversy surrounding blackface. Apparently, there's somebody from the Real Housewives of New York who's involved in it. Luana de Lesseps. And I've got to say, I find the whole thing dizzying. I don't know who I'm supposed to be mad at and why. And, maybe you can help me out. Maybe you can let me know who I'm supposed to be upset at for, besmirching the good name of races everywhere. As though races have helped us in any way, right? Like this whole artificial, designation based on the amount of melanin in your skin, your ancestors, the majority of them's proximity to the equator. This is really important stuff.
Now, Mark, I got a question for you. So,
sure.
Is it inappropriate to dress up as a woman as a guy?
No, clearly not.
It's not.
No,
it's not okay. Okay, and the same was vice versa.
To dress up generally, like you can dress up as a guy, you can dress up as a woman to show A, how well you can do it, or B, how funny it is if you do it. So those two things are acceptable. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm trying to comprehend the whole, when you can and cannot do it, because I would think if you can't. So wait, if you're black, you can do white or you can't do white?
I think that's up to interpretation. I'm certainly not going to have a problem with it. That's the thing is that I don't understand enough of this to be able to tell you. I am not upset that Al Roker
Like, it seems there's different standards.
That I think is true, and I think that you'll find people that say that there are different standards, and the reason there are different standards is because history dictates blah, 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 right? That, things have occurred in the past.
But haven't women been, I mean, I don't know, like, if we say black people have been oppressed,
Yep.
Okay, which I'm not going to argue in the past, sure. And wouldn't we also have to come to the same conclusion with women? So why is it okay for a man to dress up as a woman then, and not the other,
I don't know. I can tell you that there was a time in British theater, at least at this.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking of, actually.
Right. In British theater, men dressed up as women because it was considered to be inappropriate for women to be on the stage. Being an actor was a pretty disreputable career choice. And, women being on the stage was not acceptable. And many times men would play women. Now, I learned this from a fiction book, King Rat, but I believe it to be true. Nonetheless,
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I think that's so. So yeah, I mean, I guess that for whatever reason, the history isn't there, the outrage isn't there, the ire isn't there. But I know that it would have been when Megyn Kelly's talking about when she was little, dressing up and putting a little makeup on to darken yourself wouldn't have been a problem. There's no doubt that friends of mine dressed up as Indians.
Oh, yeah.
And darkened their skin to do it. They weren't doing it to be, mean to Indians. They were just like, there's only a few Halloween choices out there, and Indian's the one I'm going to pick. Like, seriously, if you were going to do the sort of homemade costume thing, there weren't many things to do. There were pirates, there were Indians, there were cowboys, there were ghosts, there were witches. I'm about done here. There just weren't that many things. It was one of those sort of traditional outfits that people did. And I, never heard anybody say anything about that. But somewhere along the line, it became highly offensive. I don't think most Indians would find it offensive. I think that people find it offensive on behalf of most Indians. And there are certainly some, Native Americans who would find it offensive, probably because they're attempting to negotiate for more benefits for some group of Native Americans.
It seems like it would be a traditional dress that you're basically doing. It's not like your Native Americans are going around dressing, in Native dress, right?
The Native Americans probably for festivals and events, but generally not.
Right. So, like, it doesn't. It seems like it wouldn't or it shouldn't be that terribly offensive. It's not like
for somebody to dress up like that
in a costume. Sure.
I've heard the argument. Let me posit the counter. So in many cases, these are religious events in which people dress up. They, like I will not claim to understand Native American religion, but the counter would be, how would y'all feel if we dressed up as the Pope? And my answer is,
people already do that?
Well, I think you're allowed to dress up at the Pope if you're the proper color. Like this, what this is fundamentally, this is a accepted and, proffered form of societal racism, right? Like you can do X as long as you have the proper cred, is the idea. And I just rejected it out of hand. I support Al Roker dressing up as Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Not a problem in my mind. Not a problem that his, it looks to be his female co-host dresses up as Marty McFly, a male. Not a problem that if Megyn Kelly, that Megyn Kelly defends the notion, just sort of asks a question and, provides a weak defense for the notion of, I don't know what happened here. Let's see. There's this controversy on the Real Housewives of New York of a Luann de Lesseps. She dressed up as Diana Ross, and she made her skin look darker than it really was, and people said that was racist. I don't know what – I mean, just by that statement, I don't know what color this lady is. Like a white person could make their skin darker, but then that would really be putting on blackface. But what if this person is of ethnic an ethnic mix, and then what? Just decides to make their skin darker. But now putting on the wrong base makeup in the morning, ladies, is a racist act. I don't want to live in a world where it's just so full of landmines. I don't know. Now, I guess now it is. You simply cannot make your skin darker. There was an old controversy with Ted Danza when he's dating Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if you're aware of this. Whoopi Goldberg's black. Ted dresses up in blackface and receives a great deal of problems about it. Pretty clear, Ted is not a racist, right? He's not with Whoopi Goldberg for her looks. So, I mean, he loves that person, and she's black, so he loves a black person. Pretty clear he's not a racist. But it was a problem. Can somebody explain it to me? Maybe I'm just not ready for 2018. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's the live Friday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Liberty Dollar 2 has released its limited LD20 token. And Free Talk Live is giving away 10 of them. It's a $350 value. That's 10 at once, by the way. Each LD20 token is backed by an ounce of silver, a gorgeous .999 fine silver round, just like Liberty Dollar was famous for. If you're not familiar with the Liberty Dollar round, you can A, take my word for it that it's one of the most beautiful silver pieces ever minted, or B, you can go look on the internet and make a decision for yourself. Liberty Dollar coin, if you want to take a look. By the way, I think coin might be a legal term. Liberty Dollar round. There you go. To enter an email, send an email to contest@freetalklive.com. Put LD2 in the subject line and include a number in the body between 1 and 1,000. Again, to enter, send an email to with LD2 in the subject line and include a number between 1 and 1,000. The winner will be selected on November 5th. In the event of a tie, the prize will be split. That's contest@freetalklive.com. Liberty Dollar 2 will help you set up your wallet to receive your prize. You'll find out more at ld2coin.io about all that stuff, and anybody can win so long as it's not you and me, Chris.
Oh, darn.
There you go. 855-450-3733. Let's go to Samantha calling in from New York. Samantha, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi. Thank you guys for your radio show.
Sure.
I've been listening for just over 5 years now, and
Great.
You guys are all awesome.
Thank you.
I'm calling based on the whole costume, blackface, all that crap.
Okay.
I really think the whole thing is asinine.
Okay.
I first came in contact with all of this and thought about all this back when I was trying to pick out a costume for my daughter.
Okay.
She's going to be 2.
She's going to be 2?
And
all right.
and she loves Moana. And everyone on the internet was like, no, you shouldn't dress your child like that because your child's white and Moana's not white. She's Polynesian. And I just thought that was insane.
Who is Moana? You got to help me out with this.
Moana is this little island Polynesian girl, and it's like a movie, a big kids movie now. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And she was watching it every day at the time, and she just loved it. And I thought that would be a perfect thing. And people were just like, "No, you can't dress her like that. She's not Polynesian, so you shouldn't dress her like that."
Yeah, that
Give me a break.
I mean, I guess in one way, right? You don't want your child to be the center of some kind of controversy. You just want her to dress up like she wants to be able to dress up. On the other hand, it's sad. It's really sad, people, when a young person who doesn't really understand race, right? Doesn't have the whole cultural context that, whomever's looking at the costume might have, and just simply wants to dress up like they want to dress up. My son has an array of costumes that he's had over the years. I think, he's had a Captain America one, he's had an Iron Man one, he's had a Spider-Man one, and his most recent Avengers one. This year he dressed up as a clone trooper, which I got to say, dressing up as one of the dark minions of an evil overlord really kind of bugs me, but whatever. The one that he had last year was Black Panther. Now, he didn't wear a Black Panther wig. He didn't put dark makeup on. He just wore a mask of a character who happens to be black. and he never
Uh-oh.
nobody said anything about it. You know, it was kind of funny to see his little white hand sticking out of Black Panther outfit, by the way. He didn't have his gloves on all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess I've had this problem too. I wasn't thinking about that when we were reading this article, but I thought about it when he was looking at his costume, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to rob my son of the joy that he has surrounding this character. He was excited about Black Panther. The movie was coming out, and he was just hyped. So he wanted to dress up as Black Panther, and he did. And in the case of your daughter, it's sad that a 2-year-old can't dress up as her favorite character. I wish I knew more about the character, but I don't, because then I would be sadder that something was missed here.
Well, yeah, and they might as well just outlaw all, bronzers and outlaw all these tanning salons and everything if they really want to get rid of blackface, because what are we all doing? We're turning blacker when we go tanning because our melanin is getting increased,
Don't give them any ideas.
That's the only difference, really.
Yeah, suddenly tanning is now racist, and consequently, apparently, one would have to say that then skin lightening. So there's these skin lightening products out there. Michael Jackson got a hold of a whole batch of it, in some manner or another, and they, you can lighten your skin. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend darkening your skin either. I think that your skin's probably at its healthiest the color that it is. If you're going to spend time in the sun, you probably should do a little sort of gradually bring yourself out longer and longer. You should wear sunscreen frankly, everybody can use sunscreen under certain circumstances, but the lighter you are, the more likely you should use sunscreen. But these are the only thoughts I have surrounding people's skin tone as a sort of a practical solution. I mean, I'm of somewhat Irish descent. There are people who are of Irish descent that'll just like burst into flames in the sunlight. They're that pale. They look like
that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful out there. Wear a big hat.
Tan.
What's that?
We call it a lobster tan.
Yeah. Wear a big
you get
hat,
tan
Samantha.
by getting more red.
That's right. Thanks for the call, Samantha. Appreciate it.
No problem.
It was actually a pretty good call for once.
Yeah, 855-450-3733. You mean for once, calls coming in and having a thought, or you know Samantha personally?
No. I mean, the caller actually has something to say and a thought. And
okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I see this whole controversy that seemed to have started in some manner or another with this Luann de Lesseps, and I looked her up. She looks, I don't know, I'm going to call her white if we're going to have this conversation. I would prefer not to be shoved into a conversation about who's white and who's black. I don't think that it's my place to decide those things.
What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a difference to someone, I can assure you. She decides to dress up as Diana Ross. One would presume because she likes Diana Ross. I like Diana Ross.
I would think so.
That's my thought. And she apparently darkened her skin to some extent. Now, again, I don't know what ethnicity she is. I don't know if she's just light. I know that there's this ongoing thing in certain communities about how dark their skin is and how light their skin is. There's the brown paper bag test in the black community. I know that Indians have this northern and southern thing about being light and dark, and I'm not going to claim to know any of that stuff. I can tell you that in the communities in which I grew up, the skin color may have been something that somebody might have joshed you about, that people might joke about, like your family's from, you're Italians, or hey, what do you think about that? Right? There might be some jokes, and the people could joke about people's ethnicity, and that's about it.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't generally, people weren't thought of as better or worse based on the color of their skin or where they were born or anything like that. And I'm just guessing that you probably want as few people as possible judging people based on the color of their skin. So if you want that, don't judge people based on the color of their skin. End of story. Let people wear the costumes they want. I will agree. Absolutely, positively, there are rude Halloween costumes out there. That there's ones like, I don't know, you could dress up like an Indian, like you could put a little bandana around and one feather in your hat and then carry around a bottle of Jim Beam and act drunk. That would be really rude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know what one would do to dress up, maybe be a black guy in a prison outfit. That would probably be pretty rude. There's ways to be rude.
Yeah, if it wasn't a specific character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're dressing up a specific character, I just don't quite see it. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You're welcome to call me out here. Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch. Guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue Diamond Gusset's got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live's Friday edition. It is Mark with you.
And Chris.
And you can call in about anything that's on your mind. We just spent the last 3 segments talking about a controversy surrounding Halloween, dressing up for Halloween, whether or not you can darken your skin, lighten your skin for a Halloween costume, what that is and what that means. So you're welcome to comment on that. The number is 855-450-3733. Do you operate a retail business, and are you looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier. Thanks to AnyPay.global, there's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, if you're almost done. So if you've got a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet address to our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash and Bitcoin Cash. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That is a URL. http://anypay.global. You don't have to type those things in. You just go to your browser and you type in anypay.global. You'll get there. And it is, it's point of sale software for everyone. And they make it very, very easy for you. Anypay.global. Chris? Yeah. Apparently, the EU is making it easier for people to do things online and to make money, right?
No.
No, they never do that.
No.
Never, never, never.
No.
If you want to know what the next crackdowns are going to look like when it comes to the internet on supply side, go to the EU. Demand side, go to China.
This is a story about censorship that I brought in here.
It always is.
Yeah. So I have a story from Torrent Freak about internet, what's happening in the EU. And the story is phrased as a question. Will internet services block Europeans to avoid upload filters? So
what?
That's the question. Will internet services block Europeans?
Europeans. Okay. Yep. I thought it was my peons.
So like
YouTube, I had to have no peons.
YouTube would be a good example of an internet service.
Okay.
Block Europeans to avoid upload filters.
Got it.
So earlier this year, there was a massive uproar.
It really should just say, will Europeans use VPN services, virtual private networks, to get around whatever the stupid new rule is?
Well, ultimately, if sites start blocking Europeans, and they already have, I'll give you a little hint. There's been a number of news sites, I believe Hollywood, and a bunch of them have actually already started blocking people from the EU to prevent them from accessing their site because of a different law that did pass called the GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation. And so it's already happening. Now, this is basically this could take it a step further, though. Earlier this year, there was a massive uproar bordering on full-blown panic about Europe's new privacy regulations. The GDPR introduced thorough data protections for Europeans, which applies to all sites and services. Data protections. Yep. That serve European users. So the GDPR is basically a law that attempts to extend Europe's jurisdiction to anybody who may have a product or service or website where a person in Europe can access it.
Yeah, okay. Of course it does.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically...
That's how governments are.
Yeah. If you, put prices in euros, or you, maybe advertise in Spanish, that might make you liable for complying with the GDPR, which has all sorts. It's a very burdensome set of regulations in regards to basically collection of data on your users, and you basically, if you collect a name, for example, you then have to hire somebody, basically like lawyer and people, to make sure you're in compliance with these regulations.
Is it this particular set of rules that earlier this year, not even that long ago, maybe a couple of months ago, basically every site suddenly gave you their cookies policy again.
Yes. That's exactly this one. When all those hundreds of emails you got a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I should say.
Yeah.
That was it.
They're still trickling in.
Oh yeah, they are. Suddenly, tens of thousands of websites around the globe had to make sure that they weren't crossing any lines with their data collection policies. As a result, people received a flurry of emails asking them to update their email subscriptions or agree to new terms. So, yep. While the mass hysteria has faded now, the fallout is still noticeable. There's still sites that are reacting to those regulations because there are still sites that are still blocking EU people from the EU because they're not in compliant. And I suspect they may never become compliant, but at least the message that is being given to users is they're not in compliance yet, so they're blocking. They're being blocked.
You have to, as a business person,
at least some of them.
Or somebody who's got a going concern, going organization, you have to ask yourself: are Europeans worth it to my business model, whatever that business model is, to follow the rules that their union, their federation, their federal government has put in place for me?
And in many cases, the answer is no.
Right. If the answer is no, so Free Talk
Live, so they
Live,
block you.
We haven't heard anything about this stuff. Haven't seemed to have any problems, but whatever. If Free Talk Live, one person from Europe comes every year and uses our link shop.freetalklive.com. I'm just saying, I know that a few do, but not very many. And then we have to look at, a website upgrade or whatever it is, maybe bringing a lawyer on retainer or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the commissions that we get through these links that we have, as to whether or not it is worth having, having that. So if we make $15 per year on Europeans, and I imagine if it's less than 100, whatever it is, directly. If we make less than $100 on Europeans, is it worth a website upgrade? The answer is no.
No.
No. So now, are we going to block Europeans? No.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
They can come sue us. We don't care.
There's this thing called jurisdiction, and this is what a lawyer is probably going to tell you. A U.S. lawyer, they can come up with a judgment in the EU, but actually getting it enforced in the United States is going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah,
because there's no equivalent law in the United States yet. Anyway, there are talks about introducing an equivalent. I think there actually has been an equivalent introduced, but we don't have anything yet.
Still hasn't passed, fortunately.
Right. Fortunately.
There's been yucky internet stuff pass, but it hasn't been that.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't pass. Several non-EU based websites and publishers responded to the GDPR by simply blocking all EU visitors. And after several months have passed, these blockades are still in place. Europeans who try to access newspapers such as the New York Daily News or the Dallas Morning News are not getting it. And USA Today redirects them to a separate portal that offers a European experience. So, I mean, yeah, you're basically getting censored by the result of these laws that are being put in place, and you're narrowing your world view.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get outside views, and that's a very dangerous thing to any kind of a democracy.
Yeah, well, I think that's true for the United States, and has been. The United States is basically so vain. People in the U.S. are just so patriotic that they don't consider the news from other countries to be really of much consequence. I pay extra special attention to the news from outside the United States that's reporting on the U.S. because, I want to know what they think out there.
Yeah, I agree. Even Unroll, this is really funny actually. Even Unroll.me, which offers people a handy tool to unsubscribe from mailing lists, is off limits. So basically a site to sort of gain back some of your control over your experience is you can't use that service anymore. It's a small service and they don't want to comply or they can't comply.
It's just not worth it.
Right, exactly.
There's so many services out there that people are doing as hobbies to see if they can get the business off the ground. Europe isn't as big of a market as the United States. And if it's freer to do business in the United States than it is to do business in Europe and more profitable, then that's what you're going to do.
I'm not even sure it's a smaller market. I think the United States the United States might actually be a smaller market than Europe. In terms of population, it's smaller.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
But you might be right. It might be larger in terms of like dollars that actually get spent and things like that. It is a very large market relative to pretty much anywhere else. Stumbling upon one of these GDPR blocks this week, it raised a question. What will happen if the EU decides to implement Article 13 of the proposed new copyright law next year?
I am curious as to what's going to happen here. I hadn't heard about this at all, and I find it frightening. I don't live in Europe, so it doesn't bother me as much, but...
Well, it could affect you just because it doesn't work.
Right, that's how they do this.
When they
Canaries in coal mines.
When Google implements something for Europe, it's going to affect US probably.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from Gotham in the Empire State, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of November 2nd through the 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.67 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $15, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,397. Antiwar.com reports with Afghan security forces suffering record casualties and their already tenuous control slipping all the time, things are looking dire in Afghanistan. But from the Taliban perspective, all these same stats add up to things looking pretty good. The Taliban is getting stronger all the time and now controls more of Afghanistan than at any time since the 2001 U.S. invasion. That control is extending in all regions of the country, with them contesting substantial portions of even vital provinces or controlling them outright. That's true even in the capital city of Kabul. According to the most recent Zygar estimate, 12% of Kabul is under direct Taliban control, with another 32% of the city considered at the very least contested. All of this adds up to a Taliban able to contest virtually any part of Afghanistan they choose, able to make a serious run at seizing almost any city in the country, at least temporarily, and can carry out so many simultaneous offensives that the Afghan military can't react to all of them.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Reuters reports the man accused of fatally shooting 11 worshipers in a Pittsburgh synagogue during Sabbath prayers pled not guilty on Thursday to federal hate crimes charges and other offenses as the city's Jewish community buried 3 more of its dead. Robert Bowers, who had been wounded in a gunfight with police and made his initial court appearance on Monday shackled to a wheelchair, walked into Thursday's proceedings upright and without the need of assistance, wearing a red jumpsuit and a bandage on his left arm. He spoke little other than to say he understood the charges against him and that some of them could lead to the death penalty. He then entered a plea of not guilty to all 44 counts against him. He also requested a jury trial. Bowers appeared sure of foot and exuded a demeanor of confidence, answering questions put to him by U.S. District Judge Robert Mitchell in a clear voice and signing papers with a steady hand. The indictment returned against him on Wednesday includes 11 counts of obstructing free exercise of religion resulting in death and 11 counts of using a firearm to commit murder. A one-time truck driver who frequently posted anti-Semitic slurs and conspiracy theories online, Bowers is accused of bursting into the Tree of Life synagogue last Saturday with a semi-automatic rifle and 3 pistols and opening fire in the midst of Sabbath prayers as he shouted, "All Jews must die." In addition to the mostly elderly congregants who died, 2 were wounded along with 4 police officers before the suspect was shot by police and surrendered. Prosecutors have said they will seek the death penalty. Bowers has also been charged in state court with 11 counts of criminal homicide and 13 counts of ethnic intimidation, though authorities have said prosecution of the federal case will take precedence.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports in their latest damning audit of the Afghan war, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction found that the Central Command had been routinely violating the deployment requirements for advisors to Afghanistan. Under mandated deployment rules, anyone being sent to Afghanistan to serve as an advisor is meant to undergo advisor training first. Only about half of those surveyed received any training at all, and mostly not the right sorts of training. Saigar further found that the Pentagon does not have any metrics to gauge what progress, if any, is being achieved in the costly advisory programs. They not only haven't been tracking it, but they don't have the means to attempt to do so. Saigar warned that with no goal set and no way to measure progress, it's impossible to tell if anything was accomplished. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Everyone in Pennington is talking about it. Something smells like weed in that back part of the library. Head librarian Cookie Stevens and library volunteers Margaret Mosier and Gail Fredericks were in the middle of discussing the upcoming used book saleganza when they smelled something strange.
So Doug smelled marijuana somewhere, and we're like shocked. Yeah. And so Doug goes, "Do you smell it?"
Without any way to confirm that the smell was indeed weed, Cookie Stevens called her husband, Sheriff Stevens, who called in local ceramics teacher Dutch Gibbs, who lived in Seattle for a few months in the 70s.
Yeah, that's weed.
Sheriff Stevens has begun compiling a list of potential suspects, including that boy Lance, who has girl hair and hangs out down by the quarry, Greg Fromke, who was spotted this evening really going to town on some potato skins at Steaky Jake's Steakhouse, and Mr. Thompson. Luckily, one young reading enthusiast seemed unperturbed by the illicit smell.
Yeah, I don't smell anything. I really love the library.
The weed smell comes on the heels of last month's discovery of a gigantic pair of women's underpants in the children's fiction section. According to Stevens, that case remains open as well.
Free Talk Live.
It's Friday, and we're live. That's why we call it Free Talk Live, because you're free to call in and talk live here on the air with us. It's Mark.
And Chris.
And if you're wondering where Ian is, he's off at a campaign event tonight. He is running as a Libertarian candidate for State Senate here in southwestern New Hampshire. All the best to him. I don't think I have to worry about finding another co-host. The number, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Chris, in the last segment, the final segment of last hour, we were discussing these restrictions that the EU is putting on, new restrictions, brand new.
Yeah.
That is putting on internet providers of some sort. Can you describe them to me exactly in one sentence? What are these restrictions?
Censorship, upload filter.
Well, yeah. But what are we filtering?
So the law is requiring or proposed Article 13.
This is proposed?
This is proposed.
Okay.
Would require companies to put out, like YouTube and smaller entities, to put a filter on the content that gets uploaded, and they basically become liable for that content. So unlike...
What is this filter of which you speak? Is this a software filter? Like I've got to pay money to create a filter?
A software filter.
Okay.
When you go right now, if you try to upload some video to YouTube,
okay,
there's a filter on it already.
Yes.
And it's not legally required, but they have it. And they attempt to check for content that is a copyright of another party.
Right. So if I have my Eagles or Bad Company CD, and I rip one of the songs, Silver, Blue, and Gold or Desperado, right? And I decide, I love this so much. And I do. I love those songs.
Yep.
I'm going to put them on my YouTube channel so I can share them with the people that I love. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play them, and then I'm going to get video of me singing along.
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Exactly. So you already are probably going to be prevented from doing that, unfortunately. But this makes it even worse because now the company would be liable for that content that gets past its filter. So what would happen is you're basically going to not be able to upload anything to YouTube unless they've cleared it. And the only content that can be uploaded that they're going to clear, because it's going to be cost prohibitive to have somebody check every single video, means that only mega corporations are going to be able to upload anything to YouTube. So it entirely destroys any kind of user-generated content, so to speak.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Are you familiar with the song "Wrecking Ball"? Her name is Miley Cyrus.
You're asking the wrong guy.
No, you are not.
I
Okay.
do not listen to music.
Then you're not familiar with a guy named Chat Roulette, who does a Miley Cyrus "Wrecking Ball" parody. Now, parodies protected under law, which is kind of interesting.
More or less.
Yeah, more or less. So and this is, by the way, hilarious. I'm not going to call it brilliant because, well, I don't know if it's brilliant comedy, but it is hilarious comedy. If you look up Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball parody Chat Roulette version, you will see a very, very funny version of Wrecking Ball. But I guess if I was silly enough and maybe use the term parody in the title of my my piece, that I could then put up Silver, Blue, and Gold and Desperado.
Nope.
Well, this guy got away with it, and he's got going on an eighth of a million. He's got an eighth of a million views.
The only way he's going to succeed with that is if he manipulates the video to make it so that the upload filters don't pick up on the fact that he's doing parody, basically.
Well, he's playing the audio. He's not doing the video.
Still, they have audio filters, and if he hadn't manipulated it, it's unlikely that the filter probably didn't pick it up.
I think that probably what he did is that he uploaded it, used the term parody in the title, and then when they gave him a kickback notice, he said, nope, this is fine because it's a parody. And then YouTube says, all right, he uses the term parody in the title, and he has claimed that it's a parody. Our lawyers say we're covered.
Do you think they checked with their lawyers?
I think that their lawyers would basically have to let them do parody. Parody is protected.
It's protected, but they reject stuff that's protected all the time.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, if you push hard enough, you'll get through.
The other way it can get passed is if there's advertisement, and the person who owns the copyright says, "Yep, you're good to go."
Yes,
and I'm going to take your advertising money.
Could be that Miley Cyrus approved this. If she didn't, she's nuts because it's hilarious. But I think that he got it through because of parody.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Article 13, also known as the upload filter proposal, will require many large internet platforms to make licensing deals with rights holders or implement measures to block pirated content on their servers. Yeah, I always like how they phrase things like large internet platforms, because I'm pretty sure that's not what the law actually says, or this Article 13 says.
They always say that because, but
to try and sell you on it like this is a good thing,
right? But it always trickles down to the little guy, and the little guy has so much more difficulty. Google can afford to put these filters on YouTube. In fact, they love these filters.
Because they love the idea their competition, yeah.
Right. They love the idea that the competition has to put these filters on because the competition can't afford to build these filters. By the way, I have uploaded the video, the Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball parody chat roulette version, onto our Telegram stream, the Free Talk Live show prep and announcements stream.
You mean a link to it, right?
There's a link there. You can either just go onto Telegram and subscribe to that channel, and that's awesome. Or you can, I think it goes through our Mastodon and our Twitter and a variety of other social media. Not Facebook, because they suck.
These requirements are not limited to European companies. They will affect all larger websites and services worldwide that deal with user upload content and are available in the EU. Again, they say this, and I tend to agree it probably will affect, but at the same time, they don't have jurisdiction. They can get a judgment, and I'm sure that, there will be companies and individuals who, will comply, but theoretically, technically, they shouldn't have to if you're not in the EU. Copyright law, including the current version of Article 13, if passed, applies to all websites visible in the EU. So this right here, the very next statement just says all websites, not just large platforms.
Yeah.
So foreign ones may decide to geo-block because of this. Yes, the Office of the Pirate Party, MEP Julia Reda informs us. While it was easier to hold European companies responsible in court, its scope is similar to the GDPR, which means that it will likely cause some uncertainty among foreign sites as well.
Some uncertainty. It just said here in the news article, any site that's visible in the EU is affected. I suspect that'll cause more than some uncertainty.
Oh, yeah.
As a U.S. site that is visible in, like freetalklive.com is visible, as far as I know, still in the EU. I sincerely hope it continues that way.
It would be interesting if they blocked it.
And we intend to be as long as we can. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder what's going on. I mostly say, screw you and your stupid rules.
YouTube CEO Susan, for one, appears to be pretty concerned, as we highlighted earlier this week. The proposal could force platforms like YouTube to allow only content from a small number of large companies. It would be too risky for platforms to host content from a smaller original content creators because the platforms would now be directly liable for that content, she explained.
Right. Basically, Europeans can only have Coke and Pepsi now. They cannot have Royal Crown Cola or any other variety of competitors because they just can't
any kind of niche product. The EU is saying, oh, it's illegal.
Yep, it's illegal.
While it seems unlikely that the YouTube would block the entire service for Europeans, especially because it already has some pretty advanced upload filters, Article 13 might spook other services enough to start geo-blocking, especially if Europeans are a minority on the platform. It's absolutely going to happen. I mean, it's just a matter of time. We've already seen it with the GDPR. There are sites that are not accessible to Europeans anymore. I mean, I understand that Europe doesn't have free speech, but theoretically there is something in there that is supposed to preserve it.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great...
LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450 free here on this live Friday edition. You can call us, talk about anything you want. We're talking about these EU, that's European Union for those of you in Florida. These restrictions that they're attempting to put on the internet, additional new restrictions. They did that just a couple of months ago. Not good enough. We need more restrictions, and we'll get that to here. We'll get to that here in just one second. I want to tell you about Anarchapulco. They've got a great lineup of speakers. Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, Doug Casey, Larkin Rose, David Icke, you name it. They've got a big, long list of great folks that are going to be there. Biggest names in the liberty movement, and they'll be at the largest gathering of free thinkers, voluntarists, libertarians, and ANCAPs in Acapulco, Mexico. When they say the largest, it is. There's Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, which is probably a bigger event, but for those of you who've been there, it's more of a hybrid event between sort of conservatives and libertarians. This is the biggest event of just solely people who believe in the ideas of liberty. It's in Mexico, in Acapulco, from February the 14th to the 17th, right in Acapulco at Anarchapulco. That's the event. All you have to do is go to anarchapulco.com, take a look. You'll love the lineup of speakers discussing entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, personal relationships, and cryptocurrency. I will be handling the Cryptopulco stage as the MC. That has been announced as of today. and I'm pretty excited to do it. So it's 4 days of sun and beaches at a world-class resort, and they've bought the whole thing. They bought out the whole resort, and they can do whatever they want at this resort, and they're going to. It's going to be an amazing event. You have to have gone to this to know what, when I say whatever means at Anarchapulco, whatever means whatever. It is going to be a lot of stuff going on at Anarchapulco. Free Talk Live will be there again. You go to anarchapulco.com, use code FTL to register, and receive 15% off. That's the first year we've had a code like that. So 15% off at anarchapulco.com, code FTL. By the way, Cynthia McKinney will be there. She's now come out as an anarchist. So she's in the lineup. Pretty cool. Anarchapulco.com.
Article 13 might spook other services enough to start geo-blocking, especially if Europeans are a minority on the platform.
So what's this Article 13 thing?
So this is in regards to the upload filter censorship that Europe may be implementing shortly that requires businesses to basically filter out content that is theoretically copyright infringing. This may sound like unrealistic fear-mongering to some, but is it really, if you look at all those sites and publications that still have their GDPR blocks up after months? This type of self-censorship...
Meaning that there are sites where you, as a European, cannot go because
of the law in Europe.
Yeah, because the European laws, the websites just say, not worth it.
We're not talking about copyright infringing websites. We're not talking about websites that are, contain malware. We're not talking about anything like that. We're talking about sites that simply don't have the resources to comply with ridiculous regulations that the EU is demanding everybody around the world implement, or otherwise theoretically be liable for, not complying with if Europeans visit their site. This type of self-censorship is not new either. Previously, we have seen that several YouTube-ripping sites voluntarily blocked US and UK visitors, fearing legal repercussions from local rights holders. If Article 13 does indeed result in geo-blocking efforts, it will ironically restrict access to content, much like the GDPR is restricting access to some information and services.
Yeah, it is.
And this is much worse for any kind of site that allows users to upload content to the platform.
Where's this article coming from? This because to some extent it's an opinion piece. I mean, it's
so it's coming from Torrent Freak, which it covers copyright news.
Torrent Freak clearly has an opinion on this, but at the same time they're reporting it as news. And
theoretically, maybe, but they report both sides really well.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying that they're nobody who's for this is going to say that it's going to restrict Europeans' access to websites, because a person who's for this would have to lie to you to get this filth through whatever political process there is.
Yeah.
I just yay, good on them for reporting.
Yeah. Well, the people said this about the GDPR and how it wasn't going to, result in censorship, and we already see that it has.
Well, but the GDPR, in Europe, Europeans don't have this kind of control over the European Union that Americans have over the U.S. government to say that there's even less, if it's at all possible. The American government is divorced from American people's opinions, by and large. The people are manipulated every 2 years, and that's about it. Europeans are, they don't elect representatives to the European Union that I know of. I believe that they're all appointed by their governments. So they're kind of like senators used to be in the U.S. government.
Fair enough. One significant difference is, compared to the GDPR, is that under the latest text, Article 13 will not apply to small sites and services. This means that services with less than 50 employees and a balance sheet not exceeding 10 million in annual turnover are excluded. That is nothing. Probably any operation of a small size is, you're probably going to have a heck of a lot more than 50 employees and 10 million in annual sales.
Well, not Free Talk Live.
Annual turnover. Okay, well, Free Talk Live is like
not that big,
but it's most businesses are going to, this is basically, they're talking about really, really tiny, couple people shops that we're talking about. You can easily go do 10 million in annual turnover with not that many employees. So, and if you're operating any kind of small platform, you're probably going to exceed this anyway. At the moment, various EU bodies are negotiating the final draft of the proposal, which will make clear what's at stake here. So,
Well,
I mean, that's it. It's a scary thing.
Yeah, I hope they don't stick with it, but what do they care?
And it won't even accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
No, it never does.
That's the thing.
Laws don't do that.
No, look. There are VPNs, but even without VPNs, we've already seen that there are proxy sites of all sorts.
But it does accomplish what they want to accomplish, because what it does is it stifles competition in the areas that the biggest of corporations want that area, that stuff to stifle.
So you're saying YouTube is going to benefit, and so for YouTube will
YouTube's going to benefit.
Yeah, probably.
Disney's going to benefit. The ASCAP, BMI, they're going to benefit. The rights holders, to some extent, to current, big time music and that kind of thing, they may benefit to some extent. But
yeah,
this isn't gonna move society forward. It isn't gonna help in the creation of art.
It's not gonna stop piracy. That's for sure.
No, it's crap.
Yep.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Call in, give your opinion. Tell me how you're a photographer and you make money off of intellectual property and blah, blah, blah. Love to hear it because, we don't do that here on Free Talk Live.
I know, right?
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
In these uncertain times, it makes sense to have a sustainable backup method to cook food and boil water. If your current plan includes using a fuel-burning stove or cooking over an open fire, then there's a much better way. The Minuteman Rocket Stove is a biomass-burning cooking stove that only requires small quantities of sticks and twigs for fuel. The Minuteman Stove is easy to use, smokeless, portable, powerful, and sustainable. For the finest in survival cooking stoves and fire starters made right here in the USA, go to MinutemanStove.com. That's MinutemanStove.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
I have no idea what that music is.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know. But, strange things happen on the radio. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Maybe we missed our mark by a minute. Oh, that might have happened. Well, if so, terribly sorry. Professional broadcasters at work, people. Yeah, what can I tell you? So, maybe it's not the board op's fault. I got an article here from the Foundation for Economic Education that I think is pretty important. It's a Stanford dean who talks about a list of 8 skills that every 18-year-old should possess. I got news for you. They don't all possess them. Maybe not by a good margin. So Blink Home Security. Your property and your family, they're precious. Protect them with Blink, like I have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscription, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company. I love this device, and it's going to make a great Christmas gift, by the way. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Well, let me tell you real quick. And you know what? We've got Sarah in New Mexico on. Let's take the call, and then I'll tell you about the 8 things that every 18-year-old should possess. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I just want to say that our next-door neighbor city, the Rio Rancho, they're tearing up a
the
big
next-door neighbor city to Albuquerque.
Right next door.
Keep in mind, Sarah, this is a nationally syndicated radio program on 190 radio stations across the United States of America. They aren't all in, New Mexico, and they aren't all in Albuquerque, and everybody doesn't know where you're calling from. Please go ahead.
Well, anyways, they're copying our example with the ART, the rapid transit.
Okay.
How we, tore up all of Central and widened the sidewalk, and they're doing the same thing with one of their boulevards. So exactly how and what they're doing, I don't, if I had a computer, I would know. But I know that one of the things is to widen the sidewalk and to improve pedestrian safety.
So this is one of these downtown improvements where they try to, bring more public transportation on board and give wider sidewalks and these kind of things.
Yeah, and I'm excited because it's catching on. We're doing it all over Albuquerque. As I mentioned, we're widening the sidewalks and in one of our neighborhoods and putting in street lights, and they're getting the drift of it, and they're copying us, so which is exciting,
Well, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. Hope the best for you guys out there. Thanks a lot, Sarah. Appreciate the call.
That's one thing we're not worried about here.
What's that? Wider?
Wide sidewalks and
yeah,
streets.
that's Keene, New Hampshire has
got
supposedly
the widest, right?
Yeah, the widest main street in America. I don't know. Anyway, you got to claim something.
Pretty wide.
It's pretty wide.
Yeah, give them that.
Fee.org. Annie Holmquist reports last week former Stanford Dean Julie Linthcott-Himes made a list of 8 skills every 18-year-old, that's a person coming in to college, should going into the workforce, should possess. And the list ran as follows. An 18-year-old must be able to talk to strangers. Last night we were here on the air and we were talking about how, some students in high school did not want to be forced to do public speaking. Like the 3 minutes you got to stand up there and give a presentation, maybe on ancient Egypt or World War II or whatever you got to do, because they have anxiety, and that's that's bad or something. And yeah, I mean that's all part of being able to talk to a stranger. I agree that if you shuffle around, look at your toes, don't shake a hand, look, man, you gotta grow up. This is not acceptable behavior for somebody. Look people in the eye. Try to weave some words together. If you don't know how to do it, don't go sit in your house because of your crippling anxiety. Get out and meet people. 2, an 18-year-old must be able to find his or her way around. I'm not sure any of us can do that anymore.
I'm addicted to my GPS myself.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time
when I go downtown, enter the address into the GPS. It'll get me there. I don't have to go. It's just one street.
I drove a van across the United States in 1998, put 10,000 miles in 100 days, and I did it all completely without a GPS. I don't know if there had to have been GPSs, but I didn't have one. I did have
early days of GPS.
Yeah, I did have some trip ticks from AAA. Shout out to all of you who know what the hell a trip tick is. But other than that, basically, I just roamed around. It was important that I find my exits and stuff. You had to read those big green signs on the side of the road back then. Rather than just looking at a device and saying, well, it says to turn. It looks like a precipice leading to death out there, but I'm going to turn.
You know what I find amazing is these might be really good. I agree, these are good skills to have, but we end up with kids who don't have driver's licenses, don't have cars, and they've graduated college and they can't get jobs because the government has basically prevented them from getting a license for a year.
Why do they get? What?
In New Jersey, as an example, this is not the only state that does this, but you cannot get a driver's license for a year after you get your permit, basically. So the kids can't get a job because they don't have a car and a license.
I don't know what, I couldn't speak to it for every state, but maybe that's something college should consider getting its students prepped for the work. I mean, if you're an institution of higher learning, at high school, college, you're ostensibly, I don't believe that you really are, but ostensibly you're trying to get people prepared for the workforce. Getting people prepared for the workforce means getting them a driver's license. The majority of Americans that have jobs, the vast majority of Americans that have jobs in the United States have a driver's license.
They need a driver's license
And
to get to work.
it may very well be that it's even a higher number of those that have a higher education degree that have a job, that have a driver's license. So if the college, first off, the college isn't doing what it says it's going to do in preparing you for the workforce. Second, you have no damn skills in planning. If you just look, graduation just popped up on me and I don't know anything about getting a driver's license and how long it takes to go through the process. I'm not saying government doesn't stand in the way, Chris, but this is the fault of the individual for bad planning.
Well, the government has made it more difficult to get a driver's license over the years, and it's gotten to a point where some kids can't get a driver's. They're already off to college by the time they can get a driver's license, so they're actually inhibited from getting a driver's license until after they get back from college because they're not even in the state.
I'll bet you the college with all their government money could get a DOT representative out there to get licenses out. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Homemakers. Groceries by mail ships free. Try our amazing bacon. It stores in your pantry. No refrigeration required. Our value-added packaging provides a 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Always priced less than grocery for your everyday use. Savory and delicious. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. It's a live Friday edition. Mark with you.
And Chris.
Call in, talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're talking about, well, this Stanford dean has a list of things that 18-year-olds must be able to do. It's an article by fee.org, and I feel like, yeah, there are some things that there's markers at certain ages you should be able to do things. 18 years old, we've decided as an adult, at least largely.
You know, I can actually think of people who are 27 that can't answer a phone.
When you say can't answer a phone,
I mean literally cannot talk to somebody on the phone that they do not know.
Okay.
So they can't pick up like a phone at a business, like in an office.
Is it a issue of sort of mental health we're talking about here?
Oh, definitely mental health.
Okay. So it's not that they don't have fingers. They can pick up a receiver. They could say if they wanted to, XYZ business, thanks for calling.
Theoretically.
Okay.
But under no circumstances would they would leave, they would quit. There's no way you'd get them to pick up a phone.
Well, it's nice to be able to have choices, right? There are jobs that I won't do.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the person I'm thinking of doesn't need to answer a phone. But if he did have to answer a phone for business,
just wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the things I wouldn't do for money, and really, it's an issue of price for me. But I tend to think that that's what it is for everybody. Let's go to the phones. We got Bad Slave calling in from New Hampshire. Well, Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Hey,
Thank you for taking my call. Mark and Chris, right?
Hi. Yep.
Well, I got you right. I'm going to go right into the same thing. I mean, you know, we're dealing with something that I call permanent adolescence.
Okay.
I say that government schools presently are designed to create a permanent adolescent.
Yeah.
And nothing more.
Yeah, if you don't need parenting, you don't need the government.
I think the legislature has, in general, done that, and it's not just the schools. I think the legislature has a big part in this. It's constant increasing of the age to do stuff that years ago was never an issue.
Yeah, well, the other thing is the minimum wage. The minimum wage was what people worked for, as early teens. Early teens with their first job.
The minimum wage, what's that?
You weren't expecting them to be productive like that.
Oh, I see.
So they came in and learned.
Yeah, so I think the minimum wage has made it difficult for young people to get work, and part of the reason is that they keep on pushing the minimum wage up to a living wage. Now, I'm not saying that the minimum wage was meant to be an introductory wage, but anybody who meant it to be a living wage to begin with is an idiot. Like, go on right now. You're an idiot if you think the minimum wage is supposed to be a living wage. That's it. Yep. End of story. Even Paul Krugman, who's about as left as you can get from an economist, has suggested that there needs to be a minimum wage based on age, or perhaps a minimum wage based on company size.
But the problem we have,
you couldn't do that.
But the problem we have is that the what you need to live, right? It depends on where you live, right? Like, across the United States, there are places that you can live on $7.25 an hour, and there's other places you can't live on $15 an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's minimum wage. There's the permanent adolescence. The lack of data that you start out with as someone supposedly graduating from high school is just this. I mean, we got Mark Dice and others out there, interviewing people on the streets of, do you know, who's president or who's, vice president or, who's your congressperson or, and I'm anti-political now. I think that we've determined that politics is the failed experiment that we tried that we need to redo. But in fact, I know, way more. I mean, I kind of treat politics as a sport because I don't do kind of pro sports or anything like that.
You just kind of watch it as a horse race?
I keep myself abreast, and I tell people that, you're going to vote, go ahead and vote. I don't argue with you doing that, but if, this is, I might help you with some choices. But my bigger point here is that we know that the government doesn't work. Are we all agreed on that?
I think it works for what they want it to work for.
Doesn't work for us. Let's put it that way.
That may be true, but I mean, that was the Soviet Union and Cuba and the North Korea, and those worked for people in power, absolutely. Sure. But that's not what America was designed to be like, as far as I was led to believe, and I'm saying that and any of those will show to be unsustainable. Even China had to open up market-based economy measures to get anywhere with productivity and all that sort of thing. And
so, if government doesn't work, what's the solution? If government doesn't work,
my point is that actually government that we really have that will always be is the government of the individual, and that will always be. And if we are able to kind of generate enough enlightenment among us, I think that we can, as a voluntary society, go forward and develop what's needed to make that work in the future. We're a long ways away from that.
I tend to agree. I don't see how else we could do it. I mean, really, that's how we got to do it.
That's my point. Is that we have unsustainability as it exists.
Thanks for the call, Bad Side.
It's just.
I was just in Seattle. I took a trip across the United States. We were talking about minimum wages there. And what I think that he's correct, he's absolutely correct. He's correct that the marketplace instills its own rules. So Seattle recently raised its minimum wage to $15. I don't think that you could really run a business in Seattle and pay people anything less than $15 anyway. So that's closing the barn door and claiming you. I don't know what it was, but I mean, they didn't do anything by raising the minimum wage to $15 when the market had already raised the minimum wage to $15. I don't think there are very many jobs in Seattle where people were making less than $15, at least not where I was. So what's the big deal? What did you accomplish in this? The market already set a minimum wage floor. Look, I'm right now. I'll make the offer. Free Talk Live certainly has some kind of job for you to do at 1 penny a minute. Some tiny little amount of money. We'll find something for you. So there you go. There's a job offer that nobody's going to take because the wages are too low. So why? Well, why worry about this? The market will set a floor for wages.
And the crazy thing about that is, if the wages are too low in Seattle, right? If companies are not willing to pay you, that means there's a glut of employees in that market. Move. You have to go where the jobs are, and the cost of living actually makes sense. And I think part of the reason the costs of living are so high in a lot of these places is because of the regulations that prevent housing or inhibit the building of new construction.
Yeah. In many cases, when you're talking about San Francisco, Seattle, places where the cost of living is very, very high, New York City, it's because, regulation, building permits, union protection in the area of building, these kind of things just continue to drive up the costs. People are living in, smaller and smaller spaces and worse conditions. I've had a few friends with apartments in New York City.
I'm amazed.
They all suck.
I have a friend who lives in Seattle, and I'm amazed at the conditions that he lives in. He's literally living in like slum-like conditions just so that he can stay in the city.
Yeah, and they want to stay in the city. By all means, they should be able to.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Here's number 3 on the list of things that 18-year-olds are the skills that they should have. They must be able to manage. This female dean uses his assignments and workload and deadlines. Now that's a proper use of the word English, his assignments and workload and deadlines. When you don't know the gender of the person of whom you're speaking, you use the masculine. But it's pretty brave for a dean to do such a thing, especially a dean of Stanford. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Your thoughts on this list or anything else. It's Free Talk Live.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from Gotham in the Empire State, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of November 2nd through the 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.67 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $15, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,397. Antiwar.com reports with Afghan security forces suffering record casualties and their already tenuous control slipping all the time, things are looking dire in Afghanistan. But from the Taliban perspective, all these same stats add up to things looking pretty good. The Taliban is getting stronger all the time and now controls more of Afghanistan than at any time since the 2001 U.S. invasion. That control is extending in all regions of the country, with them contesting substantial portions of even vital provinces or controlling them outright. That's true even in the capital city of Kabul. According to the most recent Saigar estimate, 12% of Kabul is under direct Taliban control, with another 32% of the city considered at the very least contested. All of this adds up to a Taliban able to contest virtually any part of Afghanistan they choose, able to make a serious run at seizing almost any city in the country, at least temporarily, and can carry out so many simultaneous offensives that the Afghan military can't react to all of them.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Reuters reports the man accused of fatally shooting 11 worshippers in a Pittsburgh synagogue during Sabbath prayers pled not guilty on Thursday to federal hate crimes charges and other offenses as the city's Jewish community buried 3 more of its dead. Robert Bowers, who had been wounded in a gunfight with police and made his initial court appearance on Monday shackled to a wheelchair, walked into Thursday's proceedings upright and without the need of assistance, wearing a red jumpsuit and a bandage on his left arm. He spoke little other than to say he understood the charges against him and that some of them could lead to the death penalty. He then entered a plea of not guilty to all 44 counts against him. He also requested a jury trial. Bowers appeared sure of foot and exuded a demeanor of confidence, answering questions put to him by U.S. District Judge Robert Mitchell in a clear voice and signing papers with a steady hand. The indictment returned against him on Wednesday includes 11 counts of obstructing free exercise of religion resulting in death and 11 counts of using a firearm to commit murder. A one-time truck driver who frequently posted anti-Semitic slurs and conspiracy theories online, Bowers is accused of bursting into the Tree of Life synagogue last Saturday with a semi-automatic rifle and 3 pistols and opening fire in the midst of Sabbath prayers as he shouted, "All Jews must die." In addition to the mostly elderly congregants who died, 2 were wounded along with 4 police officers before the suspect was shot by police and surrendered. Prosecutors have said they will seek the death penalty. Bowers has also been charged in state court with 11 counts of criminal homicide and 13 counts of ethnic intimidation, though authorities have said prosecution of the federal case will take precedence.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports in their latest damning audit of the Afghan war, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction found that the Central Command had been routinely violating the deployment requirements for advisors to Afghanistan. Under mandated deployment rules, anyone being sent to Afghanistan to serve as an advisor is meant to undergo advisor training first. Only about half of those surveyed received any training at all, and mostly not the right sorts of training. Saigar further found that the Pentagon does not have any metrics to gauge what progress, if any, is being achieved in the costly advisory programs. They not only haven't been tracking it, but they don't have the means to attempt to do so. Saigar warned that with no goal set and no way to measure progress, it's impossible to tell if anything was accomplished. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
While Digital Communications Coordinator Brian Tyler is considered by many of his coworkers to be the cutest guy around the offices of Western Psychological Publishing Services, employees conceded today the 27-year-old is not even particularly attractive.
Brian gets a lot of attention from girls around here, but if I saw him in a bar, I don't know if I would even notice him. Put him next to Glenn or Mike, and then, sure, he actually looks pretty good.
Co-workers explained to reporters that by everyday standards, Tyler would at best be considered moderately good-looking, but explained that given the abundance of unattractive men at the publishing firm, female employees often go out of their way to make small talk with the 27-year-old at his desk or eat lunch with him in the office kitchen.
I saw him walking to work the other day, and half the guys on the street were easily better looking than him. But here, he's the hottest guy around. It's almost kind of sad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd still him.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
That's right, it is Free Talk Live, and you are able to call in and talk freely here on the air. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
I mean, that's what we do. We do it 7 nights a week. If you're listening to, you can listen to Free Talk Live from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's not a day that we're not producing something. Now, not every time can you call in. Sometimes we're at events and we'll, prepare a show ahead of time because we're doing lots of interviews and that kind of thing. But nonetheless, we do produce a show for you every single day here at Free Talk Live. And we're proud of that. Proud to be able to provide that to you. There's not a lot of programming on in our time slots, and it's getting less and less every day. We're considered the new guys, the young guys in the industry. We're the longest running show in our time slot. Weekdays. Weekdays. So there you go. freetalklive.com. Check it out. We're reading a list of attributes from a Stanford dean. Her name is Julie Linscott-Himes. Made a list of 8 skills that every 18-year-old should possess. I think this is kind of interesting because, well, if you're listening to this, the chances are you're 18 or more, and you should possess these. And I don't know that I can. 18-year-old must be able to find his or her way around. Huh. I don't know if any of us can do that anymore with GPS, but an 18-year-old must be able to manage his or her work assignments, workload, and deadlines.
Ooh. That seems unlikely. So there's a difference.
Management doesn't indicate good management.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I think of like a white collar versus blue collar, I think of management. If you can manage yourself, you're white collar. If you have a manager to look over you or whatever, manage you, you're blue collar. So I don't know. That doesn't necessarily seem like a skill that it may be something that's desirable to have in a modern workforce, but
there's times when deadlines pass me by and I missed it. There's so many things going on in my.
I'm not sure if that's
hopper.
what they're talking about here, though.
I know. I'm just saying. That's what it is. Anyway, I'm looking at this list. Number 4, 18-year-old must be able to contribute to the running of a household. Could you? I mean, you run a household on your own, Chris? I mean,
I could definitely.
Okay.
But also 34 years old, so
yeah. You got to be able to wash dishes, pay the power bill, make sure your laundry gets done, that kind of thing. I think that's a little iffy for an 18-year-old, honestly. I don't know that every one of them, can do that, but it's probably a better skill than teaching them trigonometry.
I think being able to cover the bills is probably more of an issue. I would think for young people out of high school, and certainly. That probably would apply to somebody out of college who may not yet have a job.
I think that young people at the ages of 14 younger should be taking care of the household responsibilities for their house just so they know the stuff that their parents put up with for X number of years prior to that. Because, parents, they're doing all that stuff and taking care of people.
Well,
just having to do the wash the dishes or do the laundry or something.
You know what I would change is I would change the law, the way the whole law works in this regard. I don't think we should have a restriction on kids working. I think it's one of the big things that I think is just it's messed up. I understand that there were some abuses in the past, but I don't necessarily think that means that no kid should ever work.
Well, kids can work in this country. For instance, you can work
limited. It's limited.
Well, they can work in agriculture. Which
is humorous because that's some of the toughest labor there is.
Yeah, because it doesn't apply to white kids. You know why it is, right? This is white people making rules for white people, and they don't care about what happens to Hispanics.
Interesting.
I mean, be serious. What else could it possibly mean?
I never thought about it like
kids
that.
Can work in the roles of acting. Kids can work in the roles of, a family business. So if, your family owns a business, you can put the 12-year-old on the cash register. I've seen that. I think it's great.
Yeah, I do too.
I started working at 12 years old, and
I think it's a shame actually that there's so many there's so many things that we do, the restrictions that we have on kids, that it inhibits them from finding gainful employment.
Yeah. So I do think that young people should be able to find work, but I think that there's something more than the government to this. I think there's a general societal zeitgeist for making people less and less responsible as life goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a constant increase in age. Driver's licenses are a good example of that. It's not so much a financial thing.
At 16 years old, I was chomping at the bit. At 15 years old on my birthday, I went and got my learner's permit, and on 16 years old on my birthday, I think I might have gotten a restriction for my 16th birthday party, so I think I had to wait a week or 2 weeks or something to get my learners operators. But on the days that I could get my operators, I did. Now I hear just
not so much anymore.
So many young people are not getting their driver's licenses.
And this is what my experience was that I tried to hire multiple kids not that long ago, probably within the last 5 years, and probably like 4 to 5 years ago. And it wasn't that they didn't want a driver's license; it's that they could not get one. And then they graduated college and they weren't able to get a job because they couldn't get a driver's license for a year.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I don't know why they couldn't get a driver's license, but
because the laws make it absolutely insane. If you can get your driver's license,
it's the insurance too.
There's a bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of things that they have to do in order to. You have to drive around for a year in New Jersey with somebody else who has a license that is over like 27 or something, in order to get your driver's license. Okay, who has that? Who has, if you've graduated from college and you're on your own.
What is it that we're talking about? Who has what?
So if you've graduated college, right, because you can't, because they keep raising the age, so you can't get your driver's license in high school anymore.
Yeah.
So now you can't get it until after you go to college.
So you're saying that a 16-year-old can't get a driver's license now?
I'm not entirely sure what the age exactly is in New Jersey, but they keep raising it. So yeah, it's something along those lines. So if you go to college around 17, 18, you have kids who are already in school, in college, but so they can't get the driver's license that they might have gotten in the past at 14 or 15, maybe even 16. So it ends up pushing things further back, and then they graduate from college and they can't get a job, and they're supposed to be out on their own at that point, right? I mean, were you out? I mean, most people, I would think, traditionally have been expecting you graduate from college, you go get yourself an apartment, you get yourself work, you already probably have your driver's license for several years.
I didn't take the college track.
Okay, well,
no, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't. And
I've seen it numerous times.
You dealt with people who are getting jobs. I remain skeptical that the people with whom you spoke couldn't get driver's licenses. I'm saying that they didn't prioritize
they could get their
one.
Permit. Okay, but they couldn't drive without another licensed driver.
Sure.
And if you're on your own, who's going to drive? Anyway, who's going to drive you to work every day?
I get your permit at 16 years old.
You can't. That's the whole point.
Then get it at 18.
They couldn't. They were out of state.
They come back for the summer. I think this is a personal management skill.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of kids go just take classes over the summer, do all sorts of other things over the summer, like get jobs. I don't know. I don't know how easy that would necessarily be for everybody. I understand some that would work for some maybe, but I've seen multiple employees that I've attempted to hire all have this problem.
One thing's for sure, that different generations, different people, different age groups don't understand all the problems that face that face people, right? Like when I go on and I prattle on about how I grew up in a house where we didn't have a washer and a dryer, where my father built this house with his hands. We would go out there on a regular basis. We had an outhouse on this property before we had a house. It wasn't even an outhouse. We just had a board with a hole in it, honestly. And you went out behind a tree. And then I talk about how we had to go to the laundromat, how we didn't have air conditioning in Florida, blah, blah, blah. I mean, people's eyes just glaze over. Well, those are old problems, the ones we don't face. That's how I feel about this problem. You want a driver's license, you can get one. You don't want a driver's license, nothing in the world I can do to make it.
It's
make
not
you
to
want
say
one.
you can't get one. It's just that it takes a lot longer. There's a lot more energy going to getting a driver's license nowadays, especially in certain states like New Jersey.
855-450-3733. What difficulties have you had getting a driver's license?
I'd love for a young person to call in about this.
Yeah, or an old person talking about their young person who's had this difficulty. 855-450-3733. Or calling the young people out on it. Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
5-Hour Energy CEO Manoj Bhargava claimed this week that the 13 deaths associated with his product were just collateral damage in his company's ongoing war against that 230 feeling. Quote, "We honor the sacrifice of all those who have fallen. I wish we could live in a world where you could get a spike of energy and no crash and not die. But that's not the world we live in." Passionate supporters have flooded social media, demonstrating the terrifying costs of midday drowsiness and fatigue, with consumers saying that when it comes to extra alertness in the mid-afternoon, they are willing to pay any price.
As the wife of a 5-hour energy drinker, we've had to sacrifice a lot in the name of long-lasting bursts of energy that carry you out of the workday and into the evening. We knew the risks going in.
Bhargava says his company has no plans to stop until the 230 feeling is completely wiped off the map, at which point they will turn their attention to that 330 feeling, 430 feeling, and people with a case of the Mondays.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Friday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
Talking about driver's licenses, the age of acquisition, these kind of things here on Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about anything, but if you want to contribute to the conversation, you're certainly welcome to. Want to tell you about Bitcoin. Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. Do you want to buy gifts this holiday season? Do you want to do them with crypto? Many of the world's leading brands are on their rosters. It's now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com. Pick the gift card you want. Be sure to check the gift card your purchase is available in your country. Follow the instructions on screen. Make your payment using the Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight. Your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. It's giftcards.bitcoin.com. Applebee's, Domino's, Home Depot, Uber, Hotels.com, Nike, hundreds more. You're going to probably give gift cards this holiday season. This is a great way to do it. Giftcards.bitcoin.com. So, Chris, when my dad got his... My dad never got, had never had a restricted permit or anything like that. There wasn't really an age for driver's licenses. I didn't really listen to this. When I was young, I didn't care about the things that happened 40 or 50 years before that. But it's kind of interesting to see how these driver's licenses have creeped in. So, he grew up driving a tractor, driving a car. At the time, cars weren't much more than faster tractors anyway. Not much difference. So he had all the skills necessary for driving. I grew up driving a tractor too. I grew up on 10 acres out in East Manatee County in Florida. And we had to drive tractors for a variety of reasons. So I had tasks. And some of my tasks were driving a tractor. And so I knew how to drive from the beginning. A lot of young people, they don't have that. The rules have changed over time. When I was 15 years old in Florida, you could get your learner's permit. You could get it. You could get your operators at 16. So I had a full year on my learner's permit. And what that meant is that somebody over the age of 18 had to be in the car with me.
Oh wow! Even back then.
Yeah, and that's 1984ish. I'm going to call it 85, something like that. And I could have only had it for 6 months. So if I would have got it on my 15th and a half birthday, I could have kept it for 6 months and then got my operators. I could have got it on my 16th birthday, the learner's permit, and then had it for 6 months and then got my operators on my 16th and a half birthday or whatever. Okay. Right? If you get the idea. But since I got it on my 15th birthday, I had it for a full year because you could not get your operators until you were 16 years old.
Okay.
So to get an operators, you needed to pass the test. You needed to have your learners for 6 months, and you need to be 16 years old. On the day of that I could do these things, I did them. And I don't think that's happening now. We're reading this list of things that young people should have as skills, and you keep coming back to driver's licenses and how they're not able to get them. I think in many cases that this isn't just the problem of the government and their rules. I think that this is the problem of the young people.
Maybe it's a two-part problem, right? We keep increasing the age for all sorts of things. It's not like it's just happened with driver's license. It's happened with movies, right? Like look at the movies. It used to be. I remember when I was little, 1988.
Okay.
Around that time period, early 90s, going to R-rated movies, and then all of a sudden they started coming out with these posters and posting them everywhere, and radio ads and TV ads about make sure your kid is not seeing the different categories, PG-13, R, etc. And I noticed a lot more parents were all of a sudden becoming concerned. There was nobody ever checked my ID when I went to an R-rated movie when I was younger. But then as I got older,
they absolutely checked mine.
They started checking IDs.
I remember going on my first date with to Aliens. This was my first date ever, mind you, with this girl, Tammy, that she was a couple of years older than me, like a year and a half or something older than I was, and we went to see Aliens. She could get into, it's 17 or over for rated R, right? She was 17.
I don't know.
I was 16. And they weren't going to let me in. Fortunately, my friend Bob worked at the theater.
Yeah.
And he managed to get me slid through, but his claim was that I wasn't going to go through.
The first time I actually encountered somebody asking me for ID to get into a movie, I was in Boston.
Okay.
And I was probably around 13. And
right.
I was I might have been just shy of 13. And I was denied access to the movie.
And was that a PG-13 movie or something?
A PG-13 movie.
Okay. Yeah, PG-13 was a relatively new rating when I was young.
Yeah. I just thought it was ridiculous. And
PG-13 was just a suggestion at the time. I don't know what the rules are for it now, but it was at the time. It was just like, this is PG, but it's the extra PG, and whereas R actually had it said restricted, it was restricted, and so. Whatever.
I don't remember R ever being restricted.
I will also say that movies
at the theater when I went with friends and things.
I think that if you watch a PG-13 movie from 1985 versus a PG-13 now, you're going to see a lot more in that PG-13 from now than it is then. I think that people just allow kids to see more things than they did. I see it differently.
I don't know. I just keep seeing them raise the age for everything across the board, and I just think it's ridiculous. We're making young people. We're basically not giving them the opportunity to learn responsibility, and then we're blaming them later for not being responsible. That's how I see it.
An 18-year-old must be able to handle interpersonal problems. So that's what we're having right here. We disagree on the interpretation of how young people are treated in this country, and we can handle it fine. Yeah. Right. The claim here is that maybe they can't. Maybe some, people just aren't handling it. Then again, I don't think adults can either. Anyway, 16, an 18-year-old must be able to cope with ups and downs. Everything isn't a crisis. Everything isn't a party. Number 7, an 18-year-old must be able to earn and manage money. I don't think half the population really understands earning money.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these things are. I'd agree. I think there's so many people who are in their 30s or 40s or 50s, and they can't manage money. They can't hold a job down. They can't answer phones. I mean, I don't know. I don't think these are necessarily problems that are exclusive to young people.
Yeah, I'm not the only person who's ever sat in front of somebody with a $6 coffee from Starbucks complaining about how they are broke. I mean. I know that that's not the answer to everybody's financial problems, but if that's your go-to daily, if you're getting that daily coffee from Starbucks and you feel like you're broke, there's the place to start. 2, pack your own lunch. 3, make your breakfast at home.
Yep.
Brew your coffee at home. My wife's money management skills paid off our house was we got it. We had half the debt.
I don't even do that.
$125,000 debt we had on the house. She paid it off in 3 years.
Wow.
On a middle-class income.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's because she made meals at home. All of them. We went out to eat 1 day a week. And it wasn't...
Yikes.
Yeah, that wasn't like a $200 meal or
that's
anything.
How you do it. That's really how you do it. But I can't even imagine trying to do that now. I mean, personally, I've just gotten so used to eating out 3 meals a day, and... that's a challenge.
Yeah, well,
and I make decent money.
Yeah, I know you make great money compared to what I was doing. You're a super smart computer guy.
Yeah.
By the way, thinkpenguin.com.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
855-450-3733. If you've got issues surrounding security on your computers, thinkpenguin.com. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
What if there was a social media network only for the conservative?
What if there was a social media network not only for the conservative right general public, but also a platform for conservative politicians and advertisers?
And what if this social media network was the only free speech network in existence?
There is. It's RightSocial.net.
RightSocial.net, a response to President Donald Trump's direct presidential order.
RightSocial.net, where you have the right to freely speak your mind.
RightSocial.net, the right place to be.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Friday edition. Call on in. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're talking about the skills that 18-year-olds must have from the Foundation for Economic Education. This is a list set up by a dean at Stanford. And I'm not sure that 18-year-olds have these. I'm not sure most people have many of these skills. But, yeah, I want to get through this list and get the commentary going on it. Because we've commented on it, there's no doubt. But I want to hear what Fee has to say. It's number 8, 18-year-olds must be able to take risks. If you want to hear the rest of this list, you just tuned in. You can always get the archives at archives.freetalklive.com. We usually have them up within an hour after the show's down. So, you're welcome. Archives.freetalklive.com. So this list is straightforward and simple, right? But according to Lincott Harris, this is the dean, the culture of coddling and protecting we have built has made 18-year-olds with all of these skills a rare occurrence. Parents' reluctance to give children chores, let them out of their sight, or even fight their own battles in the playground has, in essence, failed to teach basic responsibility to the next generation. I don't know what has caused it, but I will agree that there's probably less than previously. My kid has plenty of chores. I'm not saying he's that great at them. I basically have to remind him every single day to do them. 6 o'clock and you want to get on your iPad has rolled around and you haven't vacuumed the floors? Oh, there's a mess on your play table? What's going on? This is just like yesterday, Jack. And the rules remain the same. Surprise! All right,
so
surprise!
I got
surprise.
a question for you. So
yes.
I remember that as a child, right? Like we had some basic chores to do and stuff.
Sure.
And I guess we did them as we got older. Now, I don't know, 8 years old, maybe
He's
a little
10.
bit. Oh, okay, 10, sorry.
Yep.
So maybe a little bit older than that even. I remember doing them. But at a younger age, it seems like something that I don't think my parents were ever successful at it. Were they when you were younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up on a farm, and chores were just part of the deal. Plus, there was money involved in the chores.
Okay.
So, it wasn't a lot, but with minimum wage was, when I hit minimum wage time, it was $3.35 an hour. So it gives you some idea of what we're talking about. I don't remember what my chores were, but I remember an allowance at one point being $1. And allowance, by the way, was pay for doing chores. There was no, here's money for being alive. This is what you get for being an Edgington, son.
I never got paid for just being alive.
Yeah, that's I do not recommend that. But if you do, I would love to hear the reason why you give your kid money for nothing. Not because guilt or anything like that. I mean, I understand what those feelings are all about. Parental guilt and these kind of things. I want to know why you think it's a good idea for a kid to have just an allowance of money.
I don't think it's a good idea, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's almost my responsibility to make sure my kid has money, only because the government and regulations prevent them from actually obtaining some sort of employment.
There's all kinds of things he can do. There are tasks as distasteful as they are.
Hold on. Who's paying him? It's you, right?
Yeah.
It's not somebody else.
I guess I want to make a distinction between payment, and Jack has earned every dollar. We have one thing where he doesn't earn money, right? So he does this thing where he polices me on language. Any word that I'm not allowed to use on the air, he can have $1 for. So I guess that to some, it's teaching him how to be a cop, which I don't particularly like. But I've always kind of wondered about this, cussing jar thing. I wouldn't do that. But if he catches daddy using some term that daddy shouldn't be using, then he gets $1. And he's good at it. He's getting better all the time. Listening around the corner. That kind of thing. But anyway, let's go on here with their commentary. Let's see. Parents don't want to give children chores, let them out the site, or even let them fight their own playgrounds, their battles in the playground.
Letting them out of the house is the big one that I'm just like...
That's the government.
Is it? So how much of that is government and parents just being overly cautious?
Well, I know that there's plenty
Have they
of times
passed laws like that say you can't let your kid leave the house or walk down the street to the playground or something?
Well, police will enforce child neglect laws on people who just let them go to parks and things. And in this world,
I remember playing in the street when I was a kid.
Yeah, playing ball in the street. Yes.
You can't do that anymore, huh?
I remember at 6 years old riding my bike to the next street over, completely out of the view of my parents' house.
Yeah, me too.
I read something, I think it was from 1979, that described what a 7-year-old should be able to do, and it included walking 10 blocks. And
wait, a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old?
I think it was a 7-year-old.
Wow, 7-year-old.
A first grader.
Should
be able to walk 10 blocks.
I remember people telling me how their kids would, in like New York City, go on the subway, maybe not at night, but during the day.
Yeah.
And pretty much go anywhere in the city.
Yeah. So, 10 blocks, it depends on the city you're in. I think usually when they mean that, what they mean is New York City blocks, which are relatively short, not the wide way, the long way, and, up and down. They're relatively short. You're not talking, maybe a quarter mile or something. Yeah, that your kids should be able to walk on their own. Basically, if the school's a quarter mile away, the kids should be able to walk home from school in first grade. And this was according to some magazine, some parenting magazine or something at the time. Just giving parents do need some kind of yardstick by which, how's my kid doing? Does he have the skills? I think we need it. But
so you think a parent today would be charged with neglect for basically
I've read too many of the stories.
Was expected in 70 something?
Yeah, 78, 79, I believe it was. I'm coming off of memory here.
I believe it.
Any of these numbers could be off a bit.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But my son does run free, but mostly at Pork Fest, at the Porcupine Freedom Festival in New Hampshire, because there's really nowhere for him to go.
But you know what? The roads, I know the roads you've been on. There've not really been roads where you can play. It's not like there's a cul-de-sac or, a side street that you guys are on.
Yeah. In the case of my kid, he didn't want to go. There was a kid next door that he could have played with when I was living in the previous town that I was in. And he just, the kid was about a year and a half older. He wanted to play with the kid, but he wanted to be taken over there. And he just didn't want to walk on his own. So,
oh, wow.
What do I do about that?
How far were you? You guys weren't that far from your neighbors.
No, when you talk about just through the woods, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I as a parent, I don't even know. Like, if the kid doesn't want to adventure out, what are you supposed to do about that?
That's kind of interesting because I remember an adventure. I mean, come on. You maybe what kind of like movies and TV shows are there? Do they not have kids like adventuring into like woods and
maybe not
other kind of stuff? Is that not the kind of thing that is in the kiddie books and stuff nowadays?
I don't know. I know that somebody's going to say kick him out of the house. I'll tell you what I did. On more than one occasion, I just said, you know what? It's bright and sunny outside. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Get out. You can come back at noon for lunch. And then at 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, get out. And he'd take his dog and he'd wander around the property and, he'd jump up and down on the trampoline and, do a few things that are kid-like. But, at those times, basically the other kids weren't mostly around. By 3 or 4, he could have gone to the friend's house. But, whatever. Didn't work out. I don't know. Every parent thinks they're doing it wrong to some extent. Here we go. Author Dorothy Lee Sayers sensed the same trend from Basic Responsibility from her famous 1947 essay, The Lost Tools of Learning. 1947. When we think about the remarkably early age at which the young men went to university in, let's say, Tudor times, and thereafter were held fit to assume responsibility for the conduct of their own affairs, we are altogether comfortable about that artificial prolongation of intellectual childhood and adolescence into the years of physical maturity, which is so marked in our own day. To postpone the acceptance of responsibility as to a late date brings with it a number of psychological complications, which, while they may interest a psychiatrist, and scarcely beneficial either to the individual or to society. Yeah, I think that's true. Young people, we're probably all better off if young people take on more responsibility earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Your thoughts, 855-450-3733. And I know it's hard. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours, ld2coin.io.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Final segment of Free Talk Live. You're welcome to try to call in here. The number still is 855-450-3733. It is Mark with you.
And Chris.
And I want to thank all the amplifiers, but specifically tonight I want to thank Save a Horse. I presume that this is some foundation or something that this person is involved in. But you can use any name you want as an amplifier, and Save a Horse is one of our amplifiers. And thanks so much for what you guys do. You can go be an amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com. It's, in my opinion, the very best use of your charitable dollars aimed at libertarian organizations, because Free Talk Live runs on very thin margins. We don't use this for paychecks or anything like that. So, amp.freetalklive.com. I got a strange story for you, Chris.
All right. Let's hear it.
Apparently, I mean, there's sections, there's areas of life that are just blind to us. We don't know what's going on because it's just not something that we're faced with. Well, did you know that if you have a falconer's license from the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife, that they can come and inspect your home anytime they wish?
What? All right, what is a... I can't even pronounce that word. What is that?
A falconer's license?
Yeah, a falconer's license.
You know what falconry is? The ancient art of falconry? Falconry is the ancient art, right? It is considered to be perhaps the oldest sport. I'm not sure that I consider training a bird a sport.
Oh, okay.
And if training a bird is a sport, then training a dog is a sport.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and say that falconry is not the oldest sport. But people will claim that.
Okay.
Nonetheless. So, as the case may be, falconry is the act of training falcons to do falcon-oriented tasks. In many cases, they'll chase down prey in cornfields. They might be a good way to get rats out of your cornfield. Rats are tough to take care of in agriculture. So, and I happen to know somebody who, Roger Veer, who was incarcerated for selling rat traps, explosive rat traps. He was the only one that he knows of in U.S. history for this, and it was probably because he was running for office and said that the people he was running against were, violent thugs for the way they used government, and so he was a political prisoner. But regardless, it's not easy to get rats out of your field. They're big, they're wily, and perhaps a nice big bird of prey will take care of that for you. So falconry's been around a long time, and generally the law's pretty good to activities that have gone on longer than the law has. Churches, like these sorts of organizations, are generally dealt with pretty well. But falconry, not so much, because there's not a lot of falconers.
Yeah, minorities are always abused.
This is a very small minority, and there's the fuzzy bunny people of the world are all like, I don't want animals abused, and I don't want animals abused either. But one of the rules is that, among other things, you can't take, as a falconer, you can't take for-profit pictures of your falcon.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, for instance, if I want to be in a movie, the next Avengers movie, maybe the reason that Falcon, the superhero, doesn't have Red Wing, his falcon, in the movies is because it's just too expensive to try to find somebody who has a falcon, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to just having a remote control drone, which is what he's got. But they're not allowed to profit from the likeness of their animal for whatever reason. And I guess this is intended, I presume this is intended to protect falcons from exploitation or something, as though falcons are better than dogs, which you can do this with. I don't know.
The picture? That sounds like a speech issue to begin with. Like,
I don't know what to tell you. But finally, whatever the U.S. Falconry Association is, I'm taking a look here. American Falconry Conservancy.
How did this topic come up? Like, is there a story behind it, or?
Yeah, Peter Stavrinodakis, I'm going to go ahead and say he's Greek, is taking a lawsuit et al. Versus the United States Department of Fish and Wildlife and California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Oh, there we go, California.
Yeah, it's in California. Well, I mean, a lot of people in the U.S. live in California.
True.
It's a large percentage of the population. Basically, these outrageous things that they do to falconers are finally being taken to court, and the Pacific Legal Foundation, which is always a great organization, and to whom I have given money and do not feel bad about recommending that you do, is taking this on, and hopefully, likely, they will see some benefits. But running up against government agencies is a pain, because the government agency, their lawyers are paid for. Yours aren't.
Yeah.
You've got to pay to fight for your freedoms. They don't have to pay anything. It doesn't go. These government bureaucrats go home and do whatever they're going to do. It doesn't cost them anything. All with their stuff, and then, then the progressives, they cheer them on because they just love the regulation. And look, I'm not saying we don't need some regulations, but the problem is you allow some little regulations, then you got these. You got these things where the Fourth Amendment is gone for you if you want a pet bird. And that's nuts. Let's go to Kevin calling in from Virginia. Kevin, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, so this election coming up, I think Tuesday, right, the 6th.
Yes.
I think we're going to see the new left, that is the Democrat Socialist, take over. I actually right now I'm an intern in Congress. I won't name the representative, but he is a libertarian Republican.
Okay.
And boy, I get a lot of calls from constituents. And these guys are radical progressives. These are the
Bernie sorts, right? They got ripped off.
Yeah, exactly.
The Democratic Party told them to take their ideas and shove it. We're putting the lady through, and it's her turn. And now they're mad, right?
Exactly. I have nothing to do with the policy. Yet they curse me out. They call me names and profane language. But looking at the bigger picture here, this is going to be
Kevin, let me address that real quick, Kevin. So it is free to cuss at you, right? Like it costs them nothing, and they have, in all likelihood, they have very little. So cussing you out costs them nothing, and the potential gain is that you quit your job, right? So you just talked about it in a way that you're demoralized a little bit. So I'd like to moralize you a little if I may. These losers are just attempting to break you of your game, and if you let them, then they win.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyways, I really think this is going to be a scary scenario because Donald Trump has increased the national debt, has put pressure towards the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates low, meaning he wants the boom to keep going.
It won't, and we know it won't.
Yeah, exactly. And as interest rates rise, here comes the bust. The bust that should have happened under Obama and Trump. What he should have done was, he should have said, this isn't my bubble. This is Obama's bubble. But he embraced it. Now he put his last name, his brand on this economy. And when it crashes, here come the Marxists. Here come the Ocasio-Cortezes of the world, the Sanders of the world. And I have some optimism for not for 2020, but for 2024. Maybe we can get a Rand Paul or a Justin Amash or a libertarian to really fix the mess that's coming. Because trust me, I intern in DC and I see it. These guys are coming, and this is going to be really scary. Because if you think that Obama was bad, get ready for high taxes.
I don't think he was. I think that he was relatively a centrist president comparatively. I know a lot of people would like to believe otherwise. I sat next to Cory Booker's media guy at some point, and he said this was right after, I think it was 2012, right after the big Republican win. And he said, I'm not afraid of Republicans. They're a dying demographic. I'm afraid of libertarians. And these people do understand that this is where the battle is. They don't have any good arguments. All they've got is this is neo-feudalism and other crap like that. And they're welcome to call in here. I'd love to figure out what I'm thinking wrong. But Kevin, I really appreciate your service, what you're doing, and what you called in about. I want to remind people to watch the video "Fear the Boom and Bust." Fear the Boom and Bust. It's on Keynes and Hayek. It's a rap battle. It is some of the best stuff on YouTube, and you'll get some idea of what Kevin's talking about. Kevin, you're welcome to call in the future. And everybody, thanks for listening. It's been Mark with you.
And Chris.
Yeah, and you can check us out at freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The Torchwood Report is coming up next, live after the news. on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from Gotham in the Empire State, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of November 2nd through the 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.67 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $15, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,397. Antiwar.com reports with Afghan security forces suffering record casualties and their already tenuous control slipping all the time, things are looking dire in Afghanistan. But from the Taliban perspective, all these same stats add up to things looking pretty good. The Taliban is getting stronger all the time and now controls more of Afghanistan than at any time since the 2001 U.S. invasion. That control is extending in all regions of the country, with them contesting substantial portions of even vital provinces or controlling them outright. That's true even in the capital city of Kabul. According to the most recent Saigar estimate, 12% of Kabul is under direct Taliban control, with another 32% of the city considered at the very least contested. All of this adds up to a Taliban able to contest virtually any part of Afghanistan they choose, able to make a serious run at seizing almost any city in the country, at least temporarily, and can carry out so many simultaneous offensives that the Afghan military can't react to all of them.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Reuters reports the man accused of fatally shooting 11 worshippers in a Pittsburgh synagogue during Sabbath prayers pled not guilty on Thursday to federal hate crimes charges and other offenses as the city's Jewish community buried 3 more of its dead. Robert Bowers, who had been wounded in a gunfight with police and made his initial court appearance on Monday shackled to a wheelchair, walked into Thursday's proceedings upright and without the need of assistance, wearing a red jumpsuit and a bandage on his left arm. He spoke little other than to say he understood the charges against him and that some of them could lead to the death penalty. He then entered a plea of not guilty to all 44 counts against him. He also requested a jury trial. Bowers appeared sure of foot and exuded a demeanor of confidence, answering questions put to him by U.S. District Judge Robert Mitchell in a clear voice and signing papers with a steady hand. The indictment returned against him on Wednesday includes 11 counts of obstructing free exercise of religion resulting in death and 11 counts of using a firearm to commit murder. A one-time truck driver who frequently posted anti-Semitic slurs and conspiracy theories online, Bowers is accused of bursting into the Tree of Life synagogue last Saturday with a semi-automatic rifle and 3 pistols and opening fire in the midst of Sabbath prayers as he shouted, "All Jews must die." In addition to the mostly elderly congregants who died, 2 were wounded along with 4 police officers before the suspect was shot by police and surrendered. Prosecutors have said they will seek the death penalty. Bowers has also been charged in state court with 11 counts of criminal homicide and 13 counts of ethnic intimidation, though authorities have said prosecution of the federal case will take precedence.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports in their latest damning audit of the Afghan war, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction found that the Central Command had been routinely violating the deployment requirements for advisors to Afghanistan. Under mandated deployment rules, anyone being sent to Afghanistan to serve as an advisor is meant to undergo advisor training first. Only about half of those surveyed received any training at all, and mostly not the right sorts of training. Saigar further found that the Pentagon does not have any metrics to gauge what progress, if any, is being achieved in the costly advisory programs. They not only haven't been tracking it, but they don't have the means to attempt to do so. Saigar warned that with no goal set and no way to measure progress, it's impossible to tell if anything was accomplished. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
He has to make a burrow in a tree stump. That's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Torchwood Report. I am Matthew Taylor, joined as always by the one true Niz. Today is Friday, November 2nd, 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, do we have a good one in store for you tonight? But before we get on to it, I'm going to kick it over to Niz for our weekly announcement.
This broadcast is covered by the BIPCOT No Government License. That means that you are free to use or rebroadcast portions or segments of this show so long as you are not an agent or advocate for government. If you fail to heed this warning, you will be socially shamed. For more information, please visit bipcot.org. That's BIPCOT.org. So some things happened this past week, huh, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some stuff. I mean, we've got some things going on with our president. Like as we speak, I think he's currently at a rally, speaking. But why don't we start off with with Trump here? Why don't you tell me a little bit about what happened with our president and the U.S.
Let me tell you about this. How about I tell you about this week?
Mexico border.
Does that sound fair?
Yes. Yeah. Why don't you tell me about this week?
So we're creeping up on the midterm elections. So, I mean, obviously, right off the bat, buckle up. There's thousands, possibly tens of thousands of people heading north through Mexico to the U.S. border. One of the new developments this week, I guess, is that Mexico offered temporary asylum, including identification papers and jobs, but the offer was rejected, and the caravan steams on.
So, do you think the response from the White House on how this whole situation is being handled is appropriate, or do you think it's not strong enough, or do you think it's just way too foot down?
I don't know. I think that there's a bunch of things here, man, that are a little bit freaking crazy. Okay, first of all,
let's unpack it.
So Mexico offered asylum. Okay. The caravan says no. Not only did Mexico say, hey, listen, we will grant you temporary asylum here in Mexico, we'll also give you jobs. They were like, nah, we'll pass.
Okay, but they're coming out of one hellhole, passing through a whole bunch of hellholes to try to get here, which isn't exactly all that great, but it's a lot better than everywhere they just walked through.
Really? Is Mexico really that bad? Is it that bad?
Do me a favor, real quick. Go to your DuckDuckGo. Go to your DuckDuckGo right now and look up how many presidential candidates were assassinated in this last presidential run. That's what that right there alone will tell you the state of where Mexico is. I mean, just outside of Juarez, they just unearthed their 18th mass grave of the year. it's the Wild West down in Mexico, just with a little bit better technology. It's not a spot anybody's really trying to stop and stay.
36.
Yeah,
36
exactly.
is the number of local not presidential candidates, local candidates that were assassinated in Mexico. 36.
36. I'm pretty sure that there was a couple presidential candidates that were involved in that, or people who had declared that they were going to ascend from their current, political stature and try to rise up into the presidential seat. But because I remember we talked about it around the time of the elections, because it was a pretty shocking story, and it came right on the tail end of that live streamer who challenged the local mob boss on his Twitter and ended up dead like 16 hours later. You remember that?
Well, right, yeah. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk. It's also not. It's not terrible though.
Yeah, but when
overall.
was the last time? When was the last time that somebody who basically did something as harmless as shoot your local heroin dealer on the back of their pickup truck, actually ended up then getting shot for putting that on the back of their truck? Because that's essentially what dude did. So I mean, when you're looking at it and you're comparing, I'm not exactly trying to stop in Mexico when not that is right around the corner. I don't care what you offer me.
Not all the areas of Mexico are bad. Not every area. I mean,
no.
I guess the tourist areas probably are nice. Depending on where you're giving me that job, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what was the job? That's another
they
really
don't say.
strong
That's the thing,
question.
right? That's not exactly made clear as to what exactly the job was. However,
probably working in fields for the cartels that own half that government.
Who knows? Asylum and a job. That's what they were offered. They said no. We're going to go to the U.S.
Are most of these people running from cartels to begin with? Like, isn't that the cartel wars and shit like that are going on, down south? Isn't that what most of this caravan is supposedly, on its migration from? I don't think they would want to stop right, next to the U.S. border, which is obviously going to be a hotbed for a lot of cartel activity.
They're going to be stopped at the border.
Well, I mean, they're going to be stopped. They're going to be stopped. Well, a good chunk of them are going to be stopped at the border. Let's not even say most. We'll say a chunk of them is going to be stopped at the border. But the whole thing is, if I have a chance to not deal with the cartels the same way, just on the other side of this fence, or at some points, couple pieces of wood stacked lazily, if I just have to cross that and make it to a town, and then literally people in that country are going to tell me they will protect me from everyone else, yeah, I'm going to try to make it to that spot.
I don't necessarily know that we're saying that we're going to protect them.
What's a sanctuary city, man? You've got people standing up calling their cities sanctuary cities that ICE will not operate inside of their city.
Good luck getting through all that shit now. Good luck getting through all that shit now. Trump sent active duty soldiers now to the border.
I saw that. Apparently, so did our former president, who wasn't too kind with his comment. But he waited to make his comment until after the DOJ was like, nah, not happening. Because he kicked this up the line. He tried to get this to run, and it was just denied from top to bottom. And as of right now, not doing, as far as I'm aware, we're not sending a whole crap ton of troops down to the border, unless I missed a memo. But Obama definitely waited until after.
5,200 troops, helicopters, and heavy equipment to the border.
Okay, but what is that
Along
the
with
difference
the-
from running a
along
Jade
with
Helm
the
operation,
Border
which
Patrol
they
and
run
ICE
around
and
this
all that
time
kind of
every
crap?
year? I mean, they run a Jade Helm operation around this time every year, and that's about the same amount of people they send down there. The only difference is this time they're like, hey, but we'll shoot you if
Right. Well, here's what I'll tell you,
if
man.
do.
Right. This is just the beginning. This is in no way the amount of troops that are actually going to be, when all of this is said and done. That's how many there's going to be. No way. This is just the beginning. I don't even think there's anybody even at the border right now as far as these I mean, there's always people crossing over the border, but I don't think there's people even right now from the caravans. Did anybody from the caravans even get here? I mean, as far as I know, they're still hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know what? When we come back off of this commercial break, we're going to ask these questions and we're going to have some answers. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this here on LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same.
Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Torchwood Report live on the Liberty Radio Network. I am the one true Niz, here as always with Mr. Matthew Taylor. We're just getting started with the show here. Off the top, we were talking about the Caravan. And right before the break, Matt had asked a question about how many troops are going to be deployed, and he made a comparison to Jade Helm. And we're going to see exactly where that's going. So where is that going, Matt?
All right, so you have yourself Jade Helm, which normally is a yearly tactical operation that is held within inside the United States that has anywhere from about 1,200, 3,200 soldiers spread out across these 5 states, engaging in non-combative drills, whether it's basically stealing a car and trying to get out of an area, or they're running drills of how to have in development style combat with friendly civilians all around that can't be shot at. You know what I mean? We don't have foreigners in the way of our soldiers this time. We would have people at home, so we have to train them somehow, and so it's been Jade Helm. But then also, if you go and you take a look at the National Guard over the last 8 years, you can take a look and see what the really big focus has been in their recruitment. And it hasn't been for, engineers. It hasn't been for, people learning a trade. No, they've been for correctional officers, which is a really weird thing to think about until you start remembering all those crazy people talking about how they were turning Walmarts into U.S. infrastructure and claiming them, and they couldn't figure out why until they realized FEMA had their hands involved with it. And that FEMA had started making plans for these internment camps, and everybody thought, oh, that's where they're going to get the political dissidents, the people who are speaking out against the government. But maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was the plan all along to just, once they got the right figurehead in, to start rounding up all the illegals and getting them out, because now it kind of sounds like the U.S. military has been kind of practicing how to do this and preparing for it the last 8 to 12 years.
So you're saying that the very nice tents might be pitched inside of an old Walmart?
I'm saying that, back in the good old days of Halliburton, they weren't just over across the ocean fighting, quote unquote, the war on terror. They were also here in the United States building 32 different installations around the country, all of them which happen to have around the same kind of layout, and all happen to be recruiting the same kind of people to staff, which happens to contract through the National Guard, which is in a really big push for security officers as of late. And then now you have this whole operation that seems to be going on, because it stopped being the war on terrorism a while ago and started being the war on just brown.
If you noticed that, it's like, okay, you can't come in if you're this color because you might explode if you're from this area. But if you're from down here, well, you're just going to eat all of our food, take all of our jobs, rape our women, steal our money, and apparently we can't do anything about that because we don't know how to stop anything. So that's basically the whole state of where the country just kind of flipped to once they had the right figurehead in. And now you see all these, infrastructure installations that are broken down or just overnight repurposed Walmarts popping up, housing all these people coming across the border, and it just takes a minute to sit back and look and see, they've definitely been practicing this shit wide out in front of everybody, and nobody was batting an eye. And so now when the operations are happening, people were shocked for about 15 minutes, and then something crazy happened on TV. Man, Roseanne said some shit, and everybody forgot.
Roseanne.
Dude.
They killed her with a friggin' opiate overdose. She overdosed on freaking Vicodins on the show. That's sad. Sad. You know what's weird about this whole caravan thing, man? And this is the part that blows my mind, okay? All of these people spontaneously decided to start walking towards the U.S. border without any type of interaction with anyone else. No one incentivized them to do. They just all of a sudden, all at the same time, decide, yep, it's about 3-4 weeks before their midterm election. Let's go now.
We could make it.
That was a good time.
We could make it.
That was a good time, right?
Even if
where's the money behind all this coming from? These I'm watching pictures. I'm seeing photos of the people that are in this caravan, and it's like 90%. Dudes with ball caps, and they all have freaking cell phones. Yes, I've seen some photos come out that were children and families and stuff, but the large majorities of this just shows miles and miles and miles of dudes in baseball caps.
Yep, there's
talking
your 5,200
on their cell phones.
There's your 5,200 soldiers. There's your 5,200 soldiers right there. No, think about it. All right, so. Social experiment. You stand out front of a store with two of your buddies, whether you have to or not. You just make a line, and eventually people are going to start standing in that line with you because people want to be a part of something. People join. So this is
it's like the Forrest Gump effect. You're trying to tell me. I just felt like running, and that's some dude is in Guatemala, and he just felt like running. So one day he just started running, and he ran.
Or he looked at his buddies and went like,
and ran in the snow.
It's like, yo, you want to troll that crazy orange dude on TV? Like, we just start walking. People will join us.
I don't know about trolling them. Things are here's what's gonna happen, right, man? They're sending these soldiers to the border. 5,200, okay, to start with. 5,200. These are soldiers that have been doing deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know what I mean? They've been in the Middle East pushing 20 years now. So you could imagine most of these guys are not. These aren't noobs. Now that they're being deployed to the U.S. border, things are definitely going to get interesting, man. Right? So if there's elements of bad guys like MS-13 or terrorists or whatever in that character, shit is going to go down. Forget Mexicans. They got their. What did Trump say about the rocks? The people throwing rocks would be treated like rifles. This is what they did to the Mexican federal police and stuff.
Listen, I just remember the last time that I remember that much hardware going actively towards the border in Texas. It did not end well. But guys, we'll be right back after this.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the Torchwood Report. I'm Matt, he's Niz, and we were discussing the migration situation that has arisen recently.
He's a poet and doesn't even know it.
Oh my god, and listen, we're just gonna sit back and show it. But anyways, so we're talking about this migration situation, and I know like where we left off with, it seems like the US might have a plan in store in case, you know, they ran into this problem again, which looked like was imminent on the you know, on the political
timeline, once it started the destabilization all the way over in the Middle East, the ripple effects were probably going to send some people to our borders, which might have to cause some sort of nationalist lockdown, which we're seeing now. But anyways, barring the more than likely scenario of what we're being told is happening here is actually what's happening for the majority of it, and ruling out that it was just some really elaborate flash mob that got way out of hand quickly. There's the other side of this, which is, U.S. politically based could see, an answer to your question you asked before we went on break, which was, why do you see so many people in decent baseball caps on cell phones walking like it's not like they don't have something chasing them or they're running from something, but they're more just kind of strolling along in Manhattan?
It's dudes, man. Listen, if you watch, I watched freaking news all day long today, all day, and every single freaking network, it was the exact same thing. These are it's wholesome. You're a crazy lunatic monster for not wanting to just let these people come right in. Like, no need to vet them, no need to check them out. Just let them in. They're wholesome. They're wholesome, and that's what that was the.
What the heart? No, I'm
sorry. telling you, dude.
This is all
I'm telling you, for real.
It's just it's exactly what the narrative would want to have happen here, though, because the left needs something. The left needs these midterms to go well, because if the right sweeps it again, it doesn't matter.
It's going to go well. I don't
either.
Man. I don't think it's going to go well for them.
Well, listen, it's not going so well for them already. I mean, they're looking at Ginsburg like, please, God, please let science, please give us some science to